everybody. Welcome to my world. Welcome to the world of Eboni Gant. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. I really appreciate it. So, for all my aspiring entrepreneur home care owners, I have been getting this question over and over and over, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do a quick YouTube video to kind of clarify some things. So the question that I keep seeing from a lot of different startup entrepreneurs is they would like to know exactly how much is the startup cost for a home care agency. So a lot of you are wanting to know, how much money do I need in the bank to get this agency up and going? Kind of a hard question to answer for a few different reasons, but I'm going to give you like a roundabout estimate of what I think will be an efficient amount to have, on hand. So I think anywhere between 10 to 20,000 in hand will be a good amount. And the reason it's such a huge spread between 10 to 20,000 is because it's going to depend upon what state you're in. Every state is different. State licensing fees are different. Overhead costs are different. Are you going to be operating out of your home? Are you going to be operating out of an actual business front? How much is your liability insurance? There's so many different factors that go into that. If you bill a client or you bill insurance, are you on a net 30? Are you on a net 60? Are you going to get paid right away? You're on a net 10? Is balance due once services are rendered? So many different factors. So depending upon your state, I think 10 to 20,000 will be a nice amount to have on hand to cover your potential overhead startup cost. I have seen licensing fees range from $50, depending upon what state you're in, all the way up to $3,000, depending upon what state you're in. And then outside of that, you have your liability insurance. I've seen liability insurance as cheap as $400 to start up, all the way up to $1,000 to start up, and then you have to pay your monthly premium. So many different factors to go into that. Do I have an office overhead? Do I have office rent? Do I have to pay for cable, the Wi-Fi? Do I have to pay for the telephones? Do I have to pay for the copy machines? Do I have to pay for supplies? It's so many different factors that are going to be factored into that cost. Do I have a mentor that I have to pay? How much do I have to pay for my policies and procedures? So it's so many different factors that play into that. So another question that I've seen is, do I have to have all of this cash up front? No, you don't. You can start off with a couple $1,000s and put that money toward wherever you need to put it to get the business up and going. Registering with the Secretary of State. What's the fee for that? Well, it's going to vary according to your state. I've seen $99, I've seen $250, I've seen $400. It just depends upon the state that you're in. So, if you have a couple thousand to get you started, great. Go ahead and start with what you have. Don't wait until you get this lump sum before you start. Just go ahead and start with the amount that you have and just slowly and continuously pump the money into the agency to get it up and running. Now, it may not be up and running in a month, but hey, guess what? Taking 6 months to get it up and running is better than waiting 3 or 4 years to get the agency up and running. So just do what you have to do to pump the money into the business. Now, what I would recommend is to cut your overhead costs as much as you can, okay? So what that means, if your state allows you to do a home office, do a home office, because guess what? You can also write that off on your taxes as well. So a lot of people are like, do I need an actual business office, an actual business front? It depends on your state. Some states require it, but a lot of states allow you to have a home office. You just have to make sure if you have a home office and you're operating out of your home, most states require you to keep your client files and your employee files behind 3 locked doors. So they classify your front door as being lock number 1. They classify the door to the actual office that you're in as being lock number 2. And then the file cabinet lock, they can classify that as being lock number 3. So you have now fallen within that qualification of 3 locked doors. This goes for an office, you know, in an actual business front. And this goes for your home office. So no matter if you're in your home or you're in an actual building, you still have that 3 lock requirement. So keep that in mind, because a state auditor, they will count those locks and they will make sure those files are heavily locked up. Your client files and your employee files, all because that information is extremely confidential and you don't want to violate any HIPAA regulations, okay? So keep that in mind. So I hope this answers your questions about your startup cost. Some people may even have a startup cost for cell phones. Some people get company cars and put logos all on it. So you have to factor all of those different costs into your overhead. So keep that in mind when you're trying to mentally or even physically, you know, write down what your budget is going to be and how much you can actually allocate to this startup agency. Thank you guys once again. I hope I've answered that question. If you have further questions, you know, around the realm of startup costs, comment below and I will do my hardest to answer each and every one of your questions. If you haven't already done so, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of my social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook public figure page, Facebook group, and my Instagram as well. I will post all of the links down below in the comments. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic day. Happy following. Take care. Bye.